Hello, my name is Valur Grettisson. I'm editor-in-chief at Reykjavik Grapevine. This is Reykjavik Grapevine's newscast. There has been a lot of development, and this is Polly, of course, sorry. And she is very, very excited for... whoa. Did you get that? You just caught it. Anyways, this is the new Reykjavik Grapevine's newscast, and we're going to go over a lot of things. According like Kári and the testings, and the new Netflix movie they made about us. So if we start with Kári and the testings. Kári Stefánsson, the director of deCODE genetics, you've heard about this guy. He's the one, the private company that has been making this, helping the government testing Icelanders. He is the sole reason that we have been able to test so many in Iceland in such a short amount of time. I think we're up to like 70,000 tests for a nation of 360,000. So that's like a staggering number. It also is like, but like you have seen before, there have been like a struggle between him and the government. But the thing is with Kári, there is always a struggle with him. All news are more or less about him and struggles. So what happened now is that he helped the government testing, and then he said that he would not help testing on the airports, on the borders. Then the government talked to him and he agreed to help them test on the borders, and he did this for a couple of weeks. But this week he actually announced that he would quit this. They could not do this anymore. The reasons are pretty simple. Economically for the company, of course, these testings and the work they have been giving cost billions in Icelandic kronur. And also they don't have time. They should be like discovering the cure for Alzheimer and stuff like that. They're doing an incredible job at the deCODE genetics, and it's absolutely incredible. So they need also to focus on their own work. What Kári did actually was he talked to the Prime Minister, Katrín Jakobsdóttir. Have we lost the dog? Oh, she'll come back. He talked to Katrín Jakobsdóttir, the Prime Minister, and he told her that she needed to have some kind of like a plan to do this. I'm not sure what the English word for this is. Sorry about that. I completely forgot to written it down. But he wants something like a pandemic committee, almost like a institute, pandemic institute. That's probably the best word for it. What she told him then was like, okay, these are all good ideas, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a committee to think about this, and we'll get back to you on 15th of September. So, what happened? Polly! Polly! She always come back. So what happened is that when she told Kári Stef, like, oh, we'll get back to you on 15th of September, and Kári said, yeah, we really don't have that much time. So he said, we're just gonna quit. From now on, we're not gonna do it, like from next week. So the government, of course, well, they're under pressure. But what happens here also is a political thing. It unveiled in some ways that the government are not doing as good a job as they could be doing, like they were doing in the beginning of the pandemic. In fact, they're just not doing enough. Right now we have something with Icelandics called svikalogn. You could call it like the calm before the storm. We know that this fall is going to be very hard. There are like around 50,000 people unemployed, like working, but we're still like getting paid from the Directory of Labour. So the companies are having a hard time. This could end in the end of the summer. This is costing taxpayers billions, and this is basically just a brutal situation. And we are afraid that this fall, all of these people could lose their jobs. And keep in mind, Icelanders, like my generation, we started working at when we were 10 or 11 years old. So we have been working all our lives and we like it. We are like hard-working people, and this is a very strong culture for Icelanders. So we're heading for a disaster in some ways. Also, the government, of course, they had some resources that they were like talking about the 21st of March. Very few of them are now in effect. For example, like state guarantee on bridging loans for companies. I actually just fact-checked it today. I wrote this yesterday, but yesterday they announced that they were just open for applications. This could be hard for the companies, but could be okay. We really don't know. Seems slow. There says also there's a suspension of abolition of taxes. Not sure what the situation is there. Tourism funded specifically. I mean, we haven't heard anything about it. A special child benefit for all children. We haven't got anyone. I have 2 children, so like there are bad black clouds. Like there's a storm coming basically, and it's a political one. So you're probably finding the same thing in your own home country. You're feeling just relief that everything is just slowing down when it comes to the pandemic, but the government at the same time are perhaps slower than they should be. But when it comes to the pandemic, we still have 500 people gathering ban. We're doing pretty well. There are not that many. I mean, there are under 10 people which are infected, a couple of hundred in quarantine. Could be better, but it's actually just absolutely fine. Icelanders are traveling a lot. We do not feel that we're afraid of the pandemic. We're not even thinking that much about it. We are even too careless. The epidemiologist said that we should be a little bit more careful when it comes to this. So it's like, yeah, and also we're gonna, in the end of this month, this is interesting because I saw the UK is opening their bars like they did it, I think, 4th of July. Our bars are still like open, but you have to close them at 11 o'clock, which means that we are going very strict on those rules. And what the epidemiologist says, he says basically you can't be responsible when you're drunk, simple as that. So like after 11 o'clock and everybody's drunk and somebody gets infected, I mean, he said it's going to be a nightmare to quarantine everyone and find everyone and so on. That would just be a disaster. So, but what he said, he is positive now to open up the bars, like have them open for longer hours in the end of the month. So here's hoping for us alcoholics. Also, fun news. Netflix and Will Ferrell put out a movie largely based on Icelandic enthusiasm of winning Eurovision. I don't really know what to think about that, but Eurovision is definitely a big thing in Iceland, but it's definitely a sarcastic thing also. We think this is more funny than cool or whatever. This is the biggest freak show on earth. No, I wouldn't say that. Sorry, not freak show, of course. I have to be respectful about it, but it's a term that many Icelanders throw around. But the funniest thing is that the movie, of course, is absolutely horrible when it comes to script and pretty basic stuff, acting and so on. The Icelandic actors are more or less the heroes in this movie, in our opinions, of course. Incredibly though, Icelanders love to bicker, but this movie actually did not divide us. It more like what do you call it? Like we are more united after seeing this movie. We thought it was like a pretty funny and good take on Icelandic soul and tackiness and just the countryness. I don't know if you've been to Iceland, if you've seen the countryside. I mean, even the brilliant character that Hannes Óli, the Icelandic actor, plays, calls for like, play Jæja Ding Dong. I've met this character more than once. It's absolutely brilliant. So I think the movie was a smash hit in Iceland. We loved it, and we saw that BBC was taking up, like defending our culture. We appreciate it, but no need though, because in the end we have, like Icelanders have a lot of humor for themselves. So the movie was, it's incredibly popular in Iceland. Icelanders are still like telling one-liners from it, and everybody more or less just like it. I don't know. Hvað segir þú? Já. except Polly, she hasn't seen it. So that's all for today's Reykjavik Grapevine newscast. Remember to subscribe and like. Please, if you have some extra money, go and support us through our High Five Club. You can find this at grapevine.is. Also, if I'm going way too fast over these news or it's like too unclear, then just go to grapevine.is. You can find all of this news there and more in English, in perfect English, not in Icelandic English. Yes, remember our shop also. We are selling T-shirts and more, it really helps actually when you buy something from our shop. So, thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Goodbye.